Over the last few years, we've seen the tech industry get hit with a big number of layoffs. And of course, Microsoft is no stranger to that, as they have laid off thousands of people over the last few years. Now, just this past May, Microsoft laid off over 6,000 employees in their most recent round of layoffs until just now. Just this month, they laid off even more. Now, of course, the layoffs hurt, but just imagine if you're a part of those layoffs and you hear in the news that the company is doing very well. That actually adds extra salt into the wound. We're talking about a company that is doing better than expectations. So in this video, guys, we're going to go over Microsoft's most recent round of layoffs, as well as take a statement from Satya Nadella, the letter that he sent out to the company, and Microsoft's most recent earnings call, and see how well the company is actually doing. But before we dive deep into all the information, if you're new to this channel and enjoy staying up to date with the latest tech news, you've landed at the right place. Do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button as well. All right, let's dive into this. So here, Microsoft CEO says job cuts have been weighing on him, says AI transition could be messy. So this is an article out of techradar.com. So as you know, Microsoft, as one of the big tech companies, as one of the almost $4 trillion value companies, is heavily focused and going deep into AI. And like I said, as one of the big tech companies, they are probably one of the most companies that are just going headfirst into it and fully embracing AI, which is why we have a number of the layoffs that they have had just this past year. So let's dive into this article real quick here. In a company-wide memo, which I'll get into a little bit later, to workers, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has said the company's recent job eliminations have been weighing heavily on him. I guess not too bad, because you worth billions of dollars probably, and it doesn't really matter to you if you lay off a few thousand people, as long as the bottom line works. To justify the workforce changes, Nadella explained roles are being redefined due to evolving customer needs and how users go about getting work done. It's code for more AI. Satya Nadella understands workers are worried about their jobs. The news comes as the company's capital expenditure continues to rise. Microsoft plans to spend about $80 billion on AI infrastructure alone in 2025. However, recent cuts have triggered widespread employee discomfort, fear, and dropping morale, with many fearing that the company could return to old Microsoft, where internal rivalries, poor communication, and job insecurity made an unpleasant company to work for. So yes, you could obviously understand how that frustration, how the morale of the company would be. And obviously hearing about what's going on now, that you're losing your job because we decided to go with AI, you're definitely, if you're one of the people still left, you will definitely feel some kind of way about it. You'll always be looking over your shoulder saying, am I next? Are you going to use AI to replace me? And more than likely, I do believe Microsoft, again, they're fully into AI. There's going to be more cuts because of AI going down in the future, despite the fact that they're doing record numbers. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. Around 9,000 Microsoft workers lost their job in July of 2025, with around 6,000 also going in May, and several hundred in other small adjustments. So over 15,000 employees have lost their jobs in 2025, thanks to obviously AI and probably some other reasons, but mostly probably because of AI. But again, as Satya Nadella goes on, it feels messy at times, but transformation always is. Teams are organizing, scopes are expanding, new opportunities are everywhere. He also committed to addressing employee concerns at the company's next town hall meeting. So that will be a very interesting meeting to see, to be a fly on the wall to see how that goes. I don't know if it's going to be public or not. If it is, I would definitely want to see how the morale is and see what kind of questions some of the employees have and what kind of spin the execs, mainly him, have on what is going on. But let's continue on to the letter that he sent out to the employees. Now, this is a long letter. I'm not going to read it, the whole thing. I just highlighted a few areas. but I will have this link down in the description. So if you want to read the entire letter for yourself, it will be down in the description, as well as the other article as well. So you can go check that out. So this is the memo that he sent out to the company. As we begin a new fiscal year, I've been reflecting on the road we've traveled together and the path ahead. Before anything else, I want to speak to what's been weighing heavily on me and what I know many of you are thinking about: the recent job eliminations. The decisions are among the most difficult we have to make, that they affect people we work alongside, learn from, and share countless moments with our colleagues, teammates, and friends. I want to express my sincere gratitude to those who have left. They didn't leave, you fired them, just, but obviously it's corporate speak, they can't just say that. By every objective measure, Microsoft is thriving. Let me repeat that again. In this letter he sends out to the employees, by every objective measure, Microsoft is thriving. Our market performance, strategic positioning, and growth all point up and to the right. So that means they're making money hand over fist, but yet they're still cutting jobs. Our overall headcount is relatively unchanged, obviously with unchanged in a broad scheme of things, considering they have over 200,000 employees worldwide. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, 4% or whatever percentage cut this is unchanged. But not to those people who have been laid off, have been fired because of AI. It's not unchanged to them. It's a big life change to them. Now let me go on down here. Our mission, why? I think this is where he gets into some of the AI stuff. We must reimagine our mission for a new era. What does empowerment look like in the era of AI? It's not just about building tools for specific roles or tasks. It's about building tools that empower everyone to create their own tools. That's the shift we are driving, from a software factory to an intelligence engine powering every person and organization to build whatever they need to achieve. Just imagine if all 8 billion people could summon a researcher, an analyst, or a coding agent at their fingertips, not just to get information, but to use their expertise to get things done that benefit them. And consider how organizations empowered with AI could unlock entirely new levels of agility and innovation by transforming decision-making, streamlining operations, and enabling every team to achieve more together than ever before. That's the empowerment our mission enables, creating local surplus in every company, community, and country. And that's our opportunity ahead. So that's him talking about the AI. That's their big shift and their big focus right now. So a lot of whitewashing and glossing over it, making it sound great. And just one more section here I want to read from this letter here. Years from now, when you look back at your time here, I hope you'll say, that's when I learned the most. That's when I made my biggest impact. That's when I was part of something transformational. Yes, transformational indeed, when you switch to AI and you just decide to chop a lot of people's jobs because you want to move into AI. Yes, it is very transformational for you. But again, the full letter will be down in the description below if you want to go in and read. There's some other interesting points in there, but those are the things that I want to highlight. Again, speaking on the fact that the company is doing well, as you said in that letter, that they're thriving. Let's take a look at some of the earnings stuff. So this is out of CNBC. So they had a earnings call recently. Microsoft stock pops 9% on earnings beat as Azure annual revenues top $75 billion. So they're making a lot of money from their cloud infrastructure, which is Azure. Microsoft said revenue jumped 18% from a year earlier. 18% revenue growth. The company reported revenue from Azure and cloud services for the first time, with sales exceeding $35 billion for 2025. Stock, which is trading near a record, past the $550 mark in extended trading. So they are doing very well. Again, here's just a couple of things right here. Earnings per share, they had at $3.65 versus the expected $3.37, and revenue $76.44 billion versus 73.81 billion, which was expected. So again, they knocked both of those measurements out of the park. They're making money hand over fist, but yet they still felt the need to cut more jobs because they wanted to do more AI. So again, that would kind of suck if you were on the short stick and had your job cut because of that. So that will suck. And a couple of more highlights from the earnings call. Revenue growth that I talked about was already over 18%. Cloud and AI growth. The intelligent cloud unit, which includes Azure, produced 29.8 billion in revenue, up 26%, or more than the streets consensus of 28.92 billion. So again, another metric that they have beat. Shareholder returns. Microsoft returned $9.4 billion to shareholders in the form of dividends and share repurchase in the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2025. So again, they're doing very well. But again, if you are one of the employees that actually had their jobs lost, you would not feel so happy right now, considering you just lost your job and Microsoft is killing it in revenue, beating expectations, but yet I still lost my job because of AI. It seems like Microsoft could have swallowed that, but again, you have the board you have to please, you have the street you have to please. So the street loves it when you cut jobs because that's more fat that you have to trim. But as a person who or is affected by it, families affected by it, it is not a good feeling. And then to pour salt into the wound, you come out and say, we are thriving, we're doing better than we've ever expected. That just has to hurt a little more. But let me know what you guys think about everything going on with Microsoft down in the comments down below. Do you think Microsoft is a cold-hearted company, or do you think this is just business as usual? Let me know what you guys think about that. Once again, thank you for taking time out to watch this video. Again, if you love staying up to date with the latest tech news, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, if you have friends or family that enjoy this type of news, make sure you share this with them as they may enjoy this as well. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest tech news, head over to SoundsRadio.com, where I curate and aggregate tech news from around the web, covering Apple, Samsung, Google, Android, computing, and even more tech news, all at the website SoundsRadio.com. And for even more tech news in video form, check out one of these two videos right here. Until next video, guys, stay nerdy.